Good, beautiful morning, everybody. I want to welcome you to the Wednesday edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul. Today, I have with me a group called the Ascended, who want to discuss and help you to understand why you must meditate. The first thing they wanted me to tell you is that it's really important that you understand what suggestion is. This is very important that you understand what suggestion is. A lot of you do not realize what that actually is. It's not just somebody giving you an idea. It is a form of manipulation and direction that anyone can impose upon anyone. The function of suggestion in its purest form is designed by nature to lead you to greater freedom and creativity. That's the nature and function of what suggestion is designed to do for you. The challenge that many of you face is that much of the suggestions that you are getting aren't coming from your own volition, but are being given to you by your environment. In other words, you have not had much choice about the types of suggestions you have been receiving from your environment. In fact, from the very conception of your biology, there was an abundance of suggestions flowing around you and into your consciousness before you became active in the physical body. The nature and quality of suggestions is important for you to be able to evaluate what a suggestion is as an idea. Whether you think you are beautiful or not, or one says you are beautiful or not, is a suggestion either to yourself or from someone else to yourself. In any event, the nature and quality of suggestion is that it will incline your consciousness to focus in a very specific and precise way, whether you like it or not. If you do not evaluate it, that is. You must learn to evaluate suggestions that are being given to you. Suggestions about who you are or who you should or should not be are the most important suggestions that you ought to evaluate. And unfortunately, you come into this world in a trust, so to speak, where you are already open to receiving without question. This process goes on for the first 7 to 9 years of your existence in that body that you hear these words through right now. And unfortunately, most of those suggestions that have been given to you prior to that time were not evaluated by you, and often not even evaluated by those who were in charge of ensuring that the suggestion you would receive would be beneficial to you. And so you see a very confused and uncertain humanity, because the nature and quality of the suggestions that have been imparted to your minds, both individually and collectively, loan themselves to confusion, uncertainty, and fear more often than not. But that does not mean that you do not have the ability to evaluate the suggestions that you did not evaluate when you were younger. You can observe by the effects of your existing conditions what suggestions were placed in your mind by your environment, and you may choose to evaluate them now and to dismiss those that do not serve you, while choosing to create or embrace ones that will serve you. For you can create your own suggestions, and you can receive suggestions from the environment that are in fact very beneficial to you. And if you can overcome your seductions to your senses it will be much easier for you to make that evaluation, as so many of you are bound by the nature of your biology as being the sole locus of your sense of well-being, that many of you think that the indulgences of foods and beverages and laziness are natural and normal. And from the perspective of your body in and of itself, that might be true, but from the perspective of what you are, that is not true. Your body is simply the instrument that you utilize. And in order to get yourself into a position of consciousness, it is very important you understand how to place your mind and body into a position of consciousness where they are amenable to your suggestions and not the suggestions that the world has imposed upon you when you were not aware that it was doing so. But right now, you have the power and choice to step back from what the world has impressed in your mind as being true or false, and to evaluate the suggestions you are giving by the world and by others. It is important you understand that this process of evaluating suggestions is a key step in the function of meditation to get your mind out of the way so that you can commune with what you call your divinity, your God, your source of life, what you will call it. But you cannot get to that communication if you have information that is a barrier between you and that which you seek. To evaluate what is around you and the nature and quality of it is to get a clear indication of what kinds of suggestions were given to you. Are you unhealthy? Then you have been given suggestions and information that are unhealthy. If you're angry or upset, then you've been given suggestions and information that generate the function of being angry and upset. As I have said, many of the suggestions that you have been given by your environment, you did not have any conscious awareness that it was doing so. You simply knew that something did not feel right, but your physical protestations at a very young age would be met with the simple act of force, inclining you to accept and believe what you were told, whether you liked it or not physically. And even your body understood the vibrational nature of certain suggestions. And so it is important that you waken up to this simple beginning of understanding the nature and the quality of suggestions that have been given to you. What have you been told to believe, and by whom and for what? To begin a process of evaluating what are you, who are you, is a very good place to begin, because much of what you think and believe about yourself has not been chosen by you, but has been given to you by the world around you. And your growing anger and frustration is an indication of how much further you are getting away from yourself. For if you were close to who you truly are, you would feel most wonderful and blissful and joyful. You'd be close to the bosom of the life that gives you life here. And you would be hearing its words and following its guidance. The words of men are very different than the words of God. The acts of men are very different than the acts of God. And you may call it what you will if you wish to use terms such as energy or pure spirit or great spirit, whatever name you would choose to give to that consciousness that you know is within you and responsible for your existence, and that you've been given authority over the nature and quality of your existence by what you would choose to indulge your attentions on. And the function of suggestion is what you must understand. You must learn to listen and pay close attention to what others are saying that you should believe or not believe, and understand that you have an innate capacity to understand the truth and falsity of any idea from the perspective of feeling, not emotion, but feeling. That place in consciousness where your awareness is undistracted by preceding ideas and information, and you can know in the moment, this idea is not a very good idea. This information is not very good for me. And it is easy to see. If you are unhealthy or you're unhappy, if you are angry, if you are frustrated, if you are sad, if you are depressed, these are indications of where suggestions have been placed in your mind that do not serve you. And you must begin to evaluate them, for you will simply to continue to receive these suggestions if you do not correct them yourself. If you do not correct them yourself, then the world will continue to give you what you accept. And what is that? What is the concept of health and vitality and compassion and love and kindness? What are the suggestions that support these expressions of prosperity, of joy, of community, of communion? What are the suggestions that enable and support those for you? For to point another finger at another of their race or their kind, the judgment then is yours, not theirs. To go internally to evaluate within yourself what is true and what is false. To not simply seek the acceptance of others because you feel unworthy. To simply go along because you've been trained with ideas that make you feel unworthy. Rather than go into this, it is important to evaluate what the ideas and thoughts you have been given, the suggestions you've been provided with that do not serve you to be happier or more fulfilled or more vibrant or more healthy. You must begin this process of evaluation, which will lead you to the function of meditation. For when you begin to clear the clutter, the ideas, the information, the beliefs out of your mind that contradict your happiness, then you'll begin to move towards the function of true freedom. But to continue in the state of blaming and attacking the others because of your discomforts is not a healthy way to overcome your own shortcomings. Look inside your own mind and heart. The primary function of life is to live, to exist, to evolve, to grow in betterness, not in suffering. And there's a point in your awareness where you will begin to realize that you do not have to remain subjective to any thought that does not serve you, that is not based in the function of truth and life. And anything that would not serve you will cause you pain. And it is very simple to know this. If you are in pain, you are in error. There is a suggestion, an idea, a belief you have been given by the environment that is in contrast to who you really are. And many of you cannot get to meditation until you can begin this process of evaluation. Where did I learn to think this thought? Who gave it to me? To question it and then to say, this thought is not worthy of my joy. This thought is not worthy of happiness. This thought is not worthy of these things. It diminishes them. And then to release them and say, and what thoughts or suggestions can I bring into my life, into my mind, and embody in my physical expression that would reflect and represent life more accurately? What is that? The things you give your body because of the suggestions you were given to give them. What you do with your body, you do because you were told to do it with your body. What you eat and what you drink. What you do not eat and what you do not drink. Much of these are suggestions you were given before you could even evaluate them. Told that this is good when it was not good. Told this was bad when it was not bad. And now you find yourself confused and unable to discern between the truth and the lies of things. But from an honest internal evaluation, you can begin to realize that certain thoughts, ideas that you hold in your mind are not compatible with the function of your life, the life of your body, the life of your mind, the life of your soul. There are things that you can eat and there are things that you can drink that will give your body abundant life. There are things you can eat and things you can drink that will give your life a diminished experience of pleasure. There are things you can think and say and do that will increase the abundance and joy of your life, and there are things you can think and say and do that will decrease the abundance and joy in your life. But many of you have left your minds unevaluated, the source and nature of your ideas and beliefs unquestioned, and you see outpictured on a vast scale across the spectrum of humanity war and rumors of war and conflicts that are based in these ideas and information, these suggestions, if you will, that have been given to you by those that would benefit from your suffering and not your glory. There are those that benefit from your suffering, greatly benefit from your suffering. And although you may not know this, and some of you may know this, it is true that there are those that benefit greatly from your suffering, and they increase your suffering to benefit even more. And yet the simple principles of your body, if you understood it properly, if you really understood what your body tries to say to you when you eat something or drink something or do something, that it is good or not good, if you were to learn to listen again, you could restore your body to a state of vitality and health. If you understood that the nature and quality of the thoughts that run through your mind set in motion elements of creation that produce conditions you find yourself existing in very precisely. In fact, your life is an exact template of what your thinking is. The thinking you know you have and the thinking you do not know you have. And it's the thinking that you do not know you have that is responsible for many of the difficulties you find yourself in at any point of time. But this process of evaluation must come first to understand meditation and how this function of meditation allows you to commune with that which gives you life, that which is within you, beating your heart right now, keeping you alive in that body, allowing you to exist in that body. And in meditation, you can come close to this consciousness. You can learn to hear its words, receive its loving guidance, instead of the confusion and the uncertainties that the world has provided for you. But even those who would gain from your suffering will themselves suffer greatly. For you cannot initiate a cause without an effect, nor an effect without its cause. But this is your first step to begin the process of evaluation, to look inside your mind, to consider the thoughts you have in there and their effect upon yourself and the world around you. Keep in mind what we have already said, that many of the thoughts that you currently have were placed in your mind before you could evaluate them honestly. They were simply given to you and you were open enough to just accept them, and now you would place the children of this world deliberately in harm's way by not being mindful of what you would allow in their minds. For the children cannot evaluate thoughts and ideas as you can now. But they entrust that you will evaluate the thoughts that you would offer them, for you all come into this world in a trust. And you trust that you will be given life-giving thoughts and ideas. You trust in that. Not confusion, not fear, not rage, not anger, not judgment, not attack, but love that would ennoble each and every one of you to aspire to the manifestation of your creative expression here to such a degree that you could not be happy. For the full functioning of your consciousness liberated from the encumbrances of ignorance and stupidity would lead you to nothing but joy, to be free of those things. But such as it is, many of you must by your own choice free yourselves now. And those that you are in charge of, these little ones that you're in charge of, the children, must be also guarded carefully, lovingly. What you allow into their minds and into their bodies will operate as a suggestion that will improve or diminish the function of their lives, much in the way you have improved or diminished the function of yours. You can only give to another what you have in the store of your own mind and heart. So you may only give to others what you possess, what you hold in mind, but you may receive a blessing if you learn to step away from the alienating elements of your mind and turn inward to that consciousness that says, I am with you, I love you, and I will not abandon you. I beat your heart, I digest your food, I circulate your blood for you, that you may be here and delight in my creation. It says this to all that exist throughout all of creation. And would you avail yourself of that which gives you life? Or would you avail yourself to that ideations of men that would gain benefit from your suffering? That you may have the authority over children is by default a choice that they made when they came into this world. They came in response to love and its call. And oftentimes now you are answering with fear, anger, sickness, and disease, ideas that do not promote vitality, products and substances that harm you and diminish you. And you know these things, and you still do them. And why do you still do them? Because the suggestions are continually being given to you to do so. This great manifestation of technology loaned itself to only one of two possibilities for each and every one of you: that you would thrive and ascend to greater heights than any other civilization before you, or that you would again descend down into the darkness of unnecessary suffering to repeat the cycle again through ignorance. The choice remains yours. But your suffering is not necessary if you understand the function of suggestion and learn to use your mind in a more adequate way that would allow you to be more conscious. Your mind cannot use itself, but you may use it. Learn to become mindful in the thinkings of your mind so that you could articulate whether or not a thought will serve you or not. The function of evaluation gives you the opportunity to identify the suggestions within you and around you that do not serve you. Learn to do this. Learn to do this. This is exceptionally important. The very civilization that you see around you depends wholly upon your ability to restore yourself to love, to surrender the benefits that some of you gain from the suffering of others. But it is hard for some of you to let go of what you've acquired, for you think that the things you've acquired have greater value to you than the very life that you have in your own body, or the life of the trees and the birds that are all around you. So we simply came to give you this opportunity to evaluate the suggestions that you hold and harbor in your mind, and the suggestions that are constantly being presented to you by technology, to learn to allow information and ideas into your mind that are pleasing and good, that would cause you to look upon your brothers and sisters in this world with compassion and grace and understanding, to surrender the animosities that have been conditioned into you by those that gain benefit from your quarreling. And whether it is your physical health or your conflicts with each other, there are those that gain great benefit from it. And if you were to turn your attention away from your suffering and focus your attention on what is the purpose of love as a function, what are the suggestions and ideas of love, to consider this, you can begin then to move yourself away from your suffering quite rapidly, individually and collectively. But until such time, your suffering will increase until you surrender it, until you go inside and evaluate, and then learn to meditate. Clear your mind of the clutter of aggression and violence and ignorance, control, power, and authority over others, and restore yourself to love and its functions. Your time is limited in this regard. Your time is limited in this regard, for there are inevitable results, as there are to war, as there are to fear and anger. There are inevitable results to joy and playfulness, curiosity and excitement. Each will bear its own fruit. We stand on many dimensions, ready to offer you guidance and assistance as you require it. There are many among you right now in the space you call physical space and time around you. There are beings that you cannot see with your eyes or hear with your physical ears, but they are present with you, waiting for you to say, guide me. Let me understand truth. Show me how to liberate myself from my suffering. What things must I say? What things must I do to end my suffering? You will be guided. And if you are willing to surrender the things that you say and think and do that keep your suffering alive, then you shall be free. And to the degree and extent that you would free yourself, you shall free those around you also. You shall free those around you also. When your process of evaluation is well established and you say, I can dismiss this thought and this concept, I will not accept that suggestion, that is not good for me, then you will begin a process of meditation where you can keep your mind quiet and begin to then commune with the life within you, to move your awareness into your heartbeat and feel the voice of life speaking to you with each and every movement of that heart, with each and every breath of your body. It moves, lives, and breathes with you and through you. It is a part of you, and it will guide you and it will assist you as long as you are willing to be open and receptive to that guidance and assistance. It is within you. It is always within you. We know that the coming days will prove very interesting upon this planet. They will be interesting in terms of whether or not you will choose to continue to align yourself to fear and attack and blame and judgment. Whether or not you will choose to accept the evident truth of biology, soul, and spirit. You will reap the rewards. And again, so many of you will find yourself in needless anxiety and depression because you are bound by suggestions that do not serve you. Please evaluate the suggestions in your mind. It is not what is in your mind. The anxieties and frustrations in your mind are in your mind, not caused by any others. They may have been placed there by others, but you have the choice and the ability to relinquish those thoughts, those beliefs, those ideas that are not compatible with the life flow that is natural to what you are as a spiritual entity living in a physical medium of manifestation. Go well this day. Go well and be at peace this day with yourself. Practice this function of evaluation and remove yourself from unnecessary suffering. Remove the things from your life that cause you to suffer, and you will find your freedom. Thank you. Wow. A lot of comments here, guys. Hi. Good morning, YouTube family. Good morning, everybody. That whole process of evaluation is so important. I'm just overwhelmed by it. Some SC on YouTube is saying, my baby girl says she chose me from heaven before she was born. We both almost died and God saved us. I offered my life for my baby girl to be born and God helped us. That's wonderful. Thank you, SC. It is really true that we have that we have God with us all the time. Yeah. Another question from TikTok here. My 17-year-old son died 33 days after his first Pfizer vaccine. Is he at peace? Can he see me? He can see you more than you can see him, but you can feel his presence with you. I'm very sorry that he was harmed in that fashion. Again, there are those that gain great benefit from the suffering of humanity, and few that yes, I know. Anyway, let me just leave it at this. Be present with your son right now. Like, feel his presence with you right now. Breathe. Remove the idea that he's missing and feel the presence of his spirit with you right now. He's quite okay, I promise you. And he's more concerned about you than you are about him. But let yourself feel the presence. A lot of people don't realize that just because the physical body ceases to function doesn't mean you don't exist. Again, he's got a lot to say, and you can always, book a reading with me. Go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com, and get all the details about what he's saying.
Is there something you can give him?
Yeah. He wants me to tell you to tell her, and I'm presuming her is your girlfriend, the woman, the partner he had, that he deeply loves her, and he's guiding her towards her happiness. Yeah, he wants her to move towards her happiness. Do not delay. Do not, yes. So the people that keep showing up in front of her, the people that keep showing up in front of her, he's directing them to her so that she can move on into enjoying the experience of this life. I'm sorry for your loss in that respect. Yes. Hi, Karen. Is my late husband's spirit able to recall our wedding in hospice? Yes, he is. Yeah. It was. He's saying, I was going to marry you, even if it was the last thing I did. He's saying he's going to marry you if it was the last thing he did, and it was the last thing he did. He's very grateful, very, very grateful that you fulfilled that. He's saying that we will meet again. We will join again in the time. I don't know what you mean by the in the time. Yeah. He's saying that you two will join again in the time. I don't know what that means. Does that mean you're going to have an incarnation here? What does that mean? Yeah. It will be in the future that is not known at this time. We shall meet again. That's really cool. I like that. It's really fascinating how that happens a lot. How you meet somebody, even when you're 13 or 14 or 15, you meet somebody and you feel like you've known them, like you're meant to be together. It's because you have been together before. You have been together before, right? You'll be together again. It's really beautiful. Thank you so much for asking that question. Scrolling down here. Just scrolling through questions. Oh, Susie's just asked a super chat here. Hi, Susie. Thank you for the super chat. Hi, William. I've asked you this question before. Unfortunately, I have short-term memory. Question: when will I be getting my new home? As things have altered and changed since we last spoke, the vibrational state, again, I'm getting the number 9, and this will be dependent. This is going to be dependent on your ability to, again, get into the vibrational energy of having your home. How do you feel in your new home now? How do you feel in your new home now? To be in the feeling will precipitate the event in a timely fashion. Your ability to remain in that energy will determine if it is 3 or 6 or 9. But understand, the vibration of energy is coordinating and organizing all of your affairs. And we are being very general when we say this. It is organizing all of your affairs for all of you. The general vibration you keep your energy at is what is creating the conditions of your life. But you will find great happiness in this new home if you can hold the happiness that you know you will feel in your heart right now. Let the faith of that be now, and it will be done unto you. Thank you, Susie. That's a great question. Let's see. Ashley, is my brother at peace now? Is he watching over me? He is at peace, but he's not watching over you. He's off doing other stuff right now, Ashley. Yes. He says you've got two guides that are with you right now. You don't need him that way anymore. And again, this is a male and a female figure. They're from back. I'm talking back, like maybe 130 years. That's the kind of energy I'm picking up from them. And they're looking out for you right now. Yes. Go for the new job. Somebody just told me to tell you that. Go for the new job. Go for the new job. Don't just think about it. Go for it. They wanted me to tell you that. Very important. Hi, guys. 31. SC is saying, good morning. I don't like to meditate. It makes me very sad and I start to overthink and pray. That's not meditation. You're stuck in your mind, SC. You're stuck in your mind. It's not that you can't meditate. Everyone can learn to meditate. Everyone can learn to meditate. What's happened is most people have been so programmed to believe that the thoughts in their mind are who they are. They can't get out of the thoughts. But the simple thing I right now, if you're listening to this, and I trust that you are, take a look at the thoughts going on in your mind. Because a lot of people have blah, 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 going on in their head all the time. All that background thoughts blah, 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 in the background, even when they're trying to sleep, trying to get to bed, you can't, noise going on. Try this. Take your left index finger, put it to your lips, listen to the noise in your mind, and then just make this sound. And just gently repeat that sound. And as you do, you'll notice the thoughts in your mind will begin to diminish. That's a simple method that your brain has been programmed with, that whenever it hears that sound, it means to be quiet. So your brain will remember that. So when you do that, the thoughts will start to diminish. And when the thoughts start to diminish and get out of the way, then that's getting out of your mind. Now you're out of the thinking mind. And once you start to get out of the thinking mind, you can then move into the place of awareness. Again, there's a process for doing that. I encourage you, we got our upcoming masterclasses beginning June 24th. You might want to go register for our masterclass and learn the process of meditation. Learn the practical steps to moving your awareness from subjectivity to your mind and body to the place of independent awareness, where you begin to experience who and what you really are as a spiritual entity, as a soul. Anyway, thank you for sharing that. Hi, Brianne. Is there any message from my dad? I don't know why, but I'm being shown an elderly gentleman leaning back in a chair by a riverbank. He's got a pipe in his mouth, and he's got a ball cap on, kind of tilted over his face. What does this mean? Take it easy. Go slow. I don't know if you still have a grandfather. You need to go spend time with the grandfather. Again, there's a place. He's just chilling. I don't know where he is, but you need to connect to this person, or this person's trying to connect to you energetically. I'm not sure which it is. But it's like, really put your feet up, relax, and take it easy. She has a habit of getting quite riled up. He says you've got a habit of getting quite riled up. So it's really important that you relax and take it easy. At least I don't know who this elderly gentleman is, but the image is very strong. He's got a pair of dungarees on. He's like literally feet laying back in this chair, feet stretched out, and he's got a ball cap tilted over and a pipe sitting out of the corner of his mouth. Again, I don't know who they are, but you need to connect with them energetically at the very least, and enjoy that. Thank you so much. I'm just scrolling down here. Go ahead. Any message from my sister? She's saying that she doesn't want to talk about it at this time, but it's personal, but it is good. It is very good. Yeah, she's saying that you got the closeness. The closeness was really important to her. Feel it now. Like she wants you to feel her presence with you now. Like she wants you to feel her arms around you. And again, what I'm not saying physical arms. This is her energy going around you. The closest physical approximation to that is like her arms coming around to give you a hug. And you want to really let yourself feel that. Like just let her hug you right now. Feel the energy. A lot of people expect their loved ones to be a physical body again. The body's no longer functioning, so they move from physical consciousness to non-physical consciousness, and you want to really get close to that aspect of her. Like feel her right now with you. You want to really connect to that energy right now. Let's see. I want to just check something here. I can't see it there. Let's see if I do it over here. Yeah, perfect. Is my daughter's father currently guiding her and with us? He says she's a pretty strong girl now. He says she's a pretty strong girl now. The other one will help with this. He's saying there's another one that's coming into your life right now that will help her with this. What is this? Yeah. Yes. The other one coming into your life will help her with this. Yes. And again, I don't know who that is. Who's coming into her life right now? He's saying there's 3 others that will be coming, that will be helping the 2 of you with this. I'm just trying to see if they are. I can't see if they are. That's cool. I like that. Sexy Coast Salish. Hi there. Hi. Good morning, Michael. How many guardian angels do I have? You've got 3 right now. When you're in a higher vibrational state, you'll have more around you. One of them likes to help you with your gardening. The other one's been trying to help you get hooked up with somebody as a partner, like a life partner. And the third one is for the wisdom that you're seeking. You need to open the crown center up to receive the guidance from this third one. Yes. Yeah. And again, the term hooked up is just what was in my mental database, not that type of hooked up, but connected to this person. It's such a vernacular term. Let's see here. Question from Sapphire Joy B. Question: how can I change my life for the better when I'm open to positive life when my husband is negative? I told him we should separate, but he's too attached to me. Well, you need to let go of any anger or resentment you have towards your husband, for starters. You know, as long as he's not physically aggressive or abusive with you, then I highly recommend you pursue meditation. Again, learning to change and shift the emotional state that your energy's at will cause a change in your environmental conditions. Literally, if you change your emotional energy, if you want to understand, can you align yourself more to a feeling of love and joy in what you think, say, and do? If you can align yourself more to that vibration of love and joy in everything you say and do, your world will start to change. You won't have to force people to leave or come in your life. Your energy is organizing everything that's happening around you and within you physically. What's happening with your energy, that is your emotion, is what's causing all the conditions in your biology and the environment around you. That happens on both an individual scale and on a global and collective scale. We are all affecting one another in this. But I'm told to tell you, meditation will be really important. Again, check out our masterclasses on my website, WilliamMichaelForbes.com. Check it out and see if it resonates with you. You can learn the process of shifting your energy very quickly and easily. And meditation is a very, very important tool for being able to do that. Did my friend Tennille know she was dying when she died? Yeah, yes, I understand. She's very excited right now that you're inquiring about this. She was aware at the moment that this was occurring. It was not something she had mentally chosen, but was something that was decided several months before. She'd made the decision to leave. She'd made the decision that she was fed up with what was going on in this world, and she made a decision to leave. The events that unfolded were not exactly what she meant by that. I did not know that I would create this, but it is done, and I am at peace. Yeah, really important. You have to realize your thoughts are creative. There are no accidents. There are no accidents. There's omissions of thought or introductions of ideas that produce, that produce very specific outcomes in our lives. Very specific ones. That is, when you think a thought, understand that your thoughts have power to create. And they will. Don't think random thoughts. I wish I wasn't alive. That thought can create an event. even if it's just you're frustrated by something, you say that. Watch your thoughts, please. Thoughts are creative. They keep telling me that, William. Most people don't even consider or evaluate their thinking before they have the thought. They just have the thoughts. Most people don't think about their thoughts, evaluate them. What were the Ascended saying earlier? They were saying the process of evaluating or examining our suggestions in our mind. I'm paraphrasing, but they were really clear about that we need to really become aware of what ideas and information we hold in our mind, because they are creative. They cause effects, right? Again, I'm paraphrasing what they were saying. Is my mom with me when all of the smoke is around? You know she is. She's saying, you know she is. How many times do I have to tell you? How many ways do I have to show you? You see the faces in the smoke, and you feel the presence. Now that she relieves her uncertainty, she'll feel me even more. Okay, I'll tell her. So now when you release that uncertainty from your mind about her, you're going to feel the energy of her, not just see the way her energy can reorganize smoke, right? You'll actually feel the presence of her energy very differently now when you release that uncertainty, right? Because we're trained by our environment to think that when the body dies, that's the end of life. It's the end of that body, but it's not the end of life. It's not. You still exist as a consciousness, right? Let's see. Any messages from my love Thomas just passed? Oh wow! Thank you so much. Whoa, yes. He cherishes you very, very much. It's such a cherished feeling. The love is still with him. The love is still with him, and you still feel this. There's a path to hike upon. Go on this path. He wants you to go hiking on this path. You went there with him in other times. The valleys and the trees were my delight. Go there and let me sit with you. Let me sit with you there. You will know I am with you. And you will feel the delight of our love. It does not end. And I want you to have this also. Yeah, he wants you to do this with him, and he wants. Yeah. Yes. When your next relationship comes, he will cherish that with you as well. He will cherish your happiness with you as well. Oh, thank you for that. I can feel his energy. It's very beautiful, man. Thank you. Let's scroll down here further. Let's see. Any message from my late dad? Does he forgive me for not picking up his phone calls? Yeah, let go of your regret. Tell her to stop holding on to that shit. Don't hold on to regret. I want you to be happy. I just want you to be happy. That's all I want for you, is to be happy. Let go of your regret. Pursue your happiness. That gives me joy. That's all I ever wanted for you, was your happiness and your joy. Yes. And if that meant you not picking up my phone calls, then I'm happy about that. Yes. So like, you have to surrender your regret. Right? Yeah. He doesn't have any regrets at all. He just wants you to be happy. Question from Adam. Please explain what sub-property, sub-principle of an astral being's ability to alter their dimensional frequency either facilitates or restricts them from entering a certain dimension. Again, that's all vibration and frequency, Adam. You know, you have the very bandwidths of in radio signals, you have different bandwidths. Even TV signals, you have different bandwidths. They don't cross each other, but by changing the tuning device, by changing their consciousness, their awareness, what they focus upon, they can shift from one dimension to another. Humans can do the same thing and do it all the time. You can shift yourself from a dimension of joy to a dimension of depression. So it's that function of shifting their energy, attuning it to a different frequency. Literally lets them shift from one frequency to another, quite simply. The details of it, all the sub-particle, sub stuff, isn't that important. It's just intellectual gobbledygook. I'm so scared for my alcoholic daughter. I need hope. You need energy, and so does your daughter. Understand that the alcoholism is an effect of internalized emotions that have not been liberated from her body. She's holding on to anger, pain, self-judgment from events that have occurred of which you were not aware, or you might be aware. Regardless, she chooses to harbor those feelings. You have to understand the function of alcohol. What alcohol does is it is not a good electrical conductor. And when people start drinking alcohol, they start to electrically disconnect from the body, the soul, because the soul is bound to the body electromagnetically. And when that electrical connection is broken, the soul leaves the body. That's why people have blackouts, because the soul has disengaged electrically from the body. In that state of disconnection, other entities, other influences can enter into a person's biology, into your body and into your mind in that state. It's really important. But for your daughter, I would highly recommend that you might consider getting her to have a reading with me. You might want to get her a gift like that so that she can get some deep insight into how to release the pain that she's holding inside herself, that she does not want to feel. Remember, alcohol disconnects the soul from the body, so the soul is no longer aware of what it feels in the body and mind system. And virtually all addiction does the same thing. It electrically disconnects the soul from the sensations of the mind and body. That's what addiction is. It's a disconnect from dealing with certain qualities of emotion and thought in the body. And, I watched this beautiful young lady on, there's so many young people that are coming out that are really intelligent and beautiful now. And she did some research in the word alcohol, which basically translates into soul eater. That's the word. Alcohol basically translates into the word soul eater, right? I wonder why governments wanted everybody to have alcohol and everybody should have marijuana during the pandemic. Why would they want you to have things that disconnect you from your body and mind? Why do they want your soul to not be present? Because your soul can think and reason and not be controlled or enslaved. Right? Only your mind and body can. Thank you for that question. I'm 61, and when I was 5, my grandma died in front of me. How come I'm so sad now, so many years later? Because you keep thinking she's dead. Listen, sit right now. It doesn't matter what age you are. Sit straight right now, darling. Take a deep breath and let your body relax. And connect to the memory of your grandmother. Connect to the energy of your grandmother. Because what's happening is you're remembering that event and you've told yourself that she's gone. The body no longer exists, but go back to the moment where you feel her presence. where just before her body ceased functioning. Feel the feelings that you were in with her, her energy, why you enjoyed being in her presence physically. The presence you felt was not her body, it was her being, her soul. So take a moment to feel that sadness that you feel in your body, feel that sadness in your body, and communicate the following thought to your grandmother. I know you are with me always. Just communicate that thought to her and watch what happens to your sadness. I know you are with me always. Communicate that to your sadness. I know you are always with me. And just be aware of what happens, and then share in the comment section what you just experienced when you did that. Please share that with other people, because your experience is an educational tool for others. What you experience teaches others, right? Don't underestimate the power you have to help others. Am I making the right decisions in my relationship? Not if you're doing it alone. You need to sit down with them and make decisions together. Make certain that the decisions are made together. Yeah, let your insecurity go. Like, they're with you because they love you. They're with you because they love you. You have to release your insecurity. Release your insecurity. Start making more choices with them instead of wondering. Don't get caught up in your uncertainty. You got to release that, right? No, you're not who you think you are. You are what you think. Remember that. You're not who you think you are. You are what you think. And most of what you think, you didn't even choose. You have to learn to evaluate. Like the Ascension was saying, learn to evaluate what's going on in your mind, the suggestions you hold on to. Hi, Brianna. My grandma who passed, what is she trying to tell me in my dreams? The word marriage keeps coming up in my mind. Something about the marriage. Something about the marriage. Yeah. You could find your grandmother reincarnating as one of your children. That could be very exciting, you know. Find your grandmother reincarnating as one of your children. And I want to say, yeah, right. Scrolling down here. Is Jared with my son? Hand in hand are the words they're giving me. Hand and hand. Hand in hand together. Hand in hand. Yes. No. Every one of you can learn to connect to the energy of your loved ones that have left the physical plane of consciousness. You just have to tune your attention away from the idea that they have to be a physical body. That if they're physically not there, they're gone. But their energy exists. You can feel the presence of their energy. They'll let you feel it. If you just say, I want to connect to you, and feel their energy. And each of you will feel it in your own way. And it's the most wonderful thing. And they'll start communicating. You'll start getting inclinations, suggestions, ideas, informations that you wouldn't normally get once you start to feel the presence of their energy. Just got to tune your awareness to a different frequency of perception. Right? How can I open my third eye? Let me see. I see. Yes. How can I open my third eye, and how can I connect to my mom? Again, we teach people this in our 101 beginning masterclass, which is on literally awakening yourself, just awakening, getting awake. You open clairvoyance. Your third eye is clairvoyance, which means clear seeing. But there's also claircognizance, which is clear knowing. Clairsentience, which is clear feeling. Clairaudience, which is clear hearing. And we have a series of modules in our program that takes everybody through a process of beginning to open those. But if you're asking for a really simple way right now, get your mind quiet for starters, and just open your awareness to perceiving the energy of the beings you want to connect to. Your mama specifically, she'll touch base with you. You feel it. You feel it as a sensation. It's amazing. Question from Nancy. Who or what is the strong energy I've been feeling? Is there a message they want me to receive. Thank you. There's two. I'm getting the energy of Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael. It's not one, it's these two connecting with you. The function of healing, one wants you to work on the function of healing, to heal the body, to make it more whole. And Michael wants to help you with again, the stuff in your head, the stuff that you keep thinking that you need to stop thinking, to let that go, to release that, Again, their energy will help you to do that. It's funny because sometimes you might be walking through the grocery store or wherever it is you go, and you suddenly you want to eat that food or eat that thing, and suddenly a part of you says, oh, I shouldn't really do that. You know how many times people ignore their guides and their angels? You get that, oh, I shouldn't eat that. And that's them saying to you, don't do this. It's bad for you. And people do it anyway, right? It's a real challenge being a guardian angel or an ascended master even. Thank you, Nancy. Appreciate the question. What does my Papa say about my vehicle situation currently? Does he have any advice? He's saying, be careful who you take it to. Be very, very careful. Yeah. Don't just take it to anybody. See my people. See my people. So whatever's going on with your car, take your car to the people that your Papa used to go to. Yes. They'll take good care of you. They'll take good care of you. Okay. I like that. It's really cool. Question from SC. Is my father going to live longer? Well, first, I'm going to say that when your body ceases to exist, you as a soul do not cease to exist. Your body is an instrument that we all come here to experience this wonderful manifestation of time, space, and matter. And when you cease to exist as a physical body, your consciousness is now non-physical. You can't be seen with the eyes or the ears, heard with the ears, but you exist still. But I'm going to ask his higher self, is he going to live much longer? Are you going to live much longer? He's saying, as long as it's needed. He wants me to tell you, he's stressing, as long as it's needed. Not as long as you desire. As long as it's needed. That's not too far from now, in some terms. Wow, cool. I like that. Thank you, SC. Here we go. Somebody's asking, where is my wallet? Hi, Jillian. I don't know why, but I'm getting, it's between two things. I don't know, but it's between two things and it's dark. I don't see any light around it, but I'm seeing it between two things. That's how I'm perceiving it. Between two things. It's tight. You're going to be surprised when you find it because you know you haven't lost it. It's just, yes, you weren't thinking when that moment happened. But it's between two things, and I don't know what those two things are or where. I'm trying to zoom out and see if I can see anything. Please understand, as a spiritual medium, I'm still learning and evolving. The function of mediumship is something everybody can learn. Ideally, you want to start learning that when you're very young, where your parents can teach you about how to open your third eye and how to perceive images, how to hear without ears. We're born with the faculties of 5 physical senses, but we're also born with the faculties of non-physical senses. I awoke about 4.5 years ago when my wife's mother had passed away 7 days before this, and all of a sudden, 7 days later, she's talking to me while we're driving in a car through the mountains gross morning. And since then, my abilities and skills to perceive information and ideas from beyond the 5 physical senses has steadily been growing as I continue to apply and practice. it's filled with trial and error, and it's a learning process that most people are afraid to go through because you will make mistakes, just like you make mistakes learning in high school or learning a lesson or learning how to skate. In learning anything new, there's a process that you're going to go through, and if you're patient enough, you can learn to tune into different dimensions of consciousness as well. It's no different than learning the ABCs.
You channel very clear, though.
Yeah, thank you. My wife is saying I do channel very, very clearly, though.
But it's your psychic ability that you're working on.
She says it's my psychic ability I'm working on. She knows way more about me than I do. She knows everything about me. She's more psychic than I am. She reads my mind all the time, too. It's wonderful. I love it. A question from Jackie. Will I start to feel healthy soon? I've been working to heal my body for many years. I don't know why I'm going to tell you this, Jackie, but if you've got Celtic sea salt around, can you pass me the sea salt right over there, darling? I'm going to share this with people. Thanks, love. So, Jackie, this is Celtic sea salt. Get some Celtic sea salt. I'm just being guided to tell you this. Get some Celtic sea salt and put about 4 or 5 grains. Make sure you get the really coarse Celtic sea salt. Drop 4 or 5 grains of Celtic sea salt in your drinking water. Every time you're going to drink a glass of water, put 4 or 5 grains in it and drink it. I don't know why they're telling me to tell you this, but that's what they're telling me. That will start to make a shift. Yes, I understand. I did. Okay, so that will start to help you make a shift, Jackie, because you're trying to push through a barrier. So they're giving me that to give you right now. So I'm just going to let that flow. Let's see here. I quit drinking to increase my vibration. Any messages from spirit for me? Well, congratulations on quitting drinking. That's a really big one. Caffeine is another element that has been propagated throughout humanity. Caffeine keeps you in your body and disconnects you from your spiritual senses. The ancient shaman would use caffeine rarely to create a state. But generally speaking, the consistent use of caffeine, alcohol, tobacco, most pharmaceuticals, they keep you stuck from perceiving beyond the body, right? So keep that in mind, that not drinking, yes, your senses will now start to open up more because you're going to be more electrically connected. But you also want to start training the body into a state of meditation. You want to train your mind into a state of stillness, because when your mind and body are quiet and still and you're still present and conscious, that's when you can start to hear more than what your brain is telling you, because your brain only gives you the information you've acquired. Whereas your soul that's awake, when you get your mind and body still and quiet, then you can start to hear and see and know many different things. And again, we have an extensive training for this in our masterclasses. Again, you go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com, and check that out, right? Question from Carolyn. Any message from my guides or angels? Thank you. Stillness. Be in stillness and hear us there. In that place, you will know what you seek. But first, you must be in stillness. It needs to be for an extended period. We want you to know that it will take you approximately 30 minutes to achieve this if you are able to be diligent enough in the assertion of your will over your mind and body to keep them sufficiently quiet so that you can begin to hear us. But in the stillness, you will hear us. Wow. Thank you. That's really beautiful. Thank you. Got time for 2 more questions today, everybody. Do I have a message from my guides, Sonia? From your guides. Yes, like Go within. They keep trying to communicate to you, and you keep saying the number sequences are happening around you, and you keep finding little signs around you that let you know they're trying to communicate to you. You need to go within. You need to go into a place where you can actually clearly, yes, they're saying you can hear them. You can hear them if you open your ears. Not these ears. The ear inside. Yes. Again, everyone wants to talk to their guides and angels, and yet, how can you, if you, let's say you go to a really big, busy party, and there's a whole bunch of people making noise, and someone's trying to talk to you, and you're having to strain to hear them. That's what it's like for your guides and for you when your mind is on all the time, when your thinking mind is anticipating and wondering and considering and weighing and measuring, and it's going on and on and on and on. It's like being in a crowded room full of people, and it's hard to hear. Train your mind to be quiet and still so that you can begin to actually hear. And it sounds like the opposite of what you need to do, but it's actually the right thing. Quiet. Last question of the day here, folks. I still don't know, and I'm afraid to see the doctors. Any message? What do I have? My hair has fallen out in clumps. Thank you. Yeah, that's all that anxiety you keep holding on to, SC. You need to quiet your mind and body down. You need to quiet your mind and body down. The guidance that you're looking for will come not through the body, not through your mind. It will come through your connection to spirit. Again, I encourage you to check out our masterclasses. Anybody who's struggling with connecting their guides or have emotional issues, check out our masterclasses and learn the process that they've taught me. And you're suffering. You want me to take that one too? Okay, darn. Hi, Nathan. Good morning. Can you please tell me if my son's dad is around us? Your son has known this for a while, although it's been difficult for him to accept that because he keeps feeling your dad's your husband's presence with him, but he gets into pain, he gets into the sadness of the loss, and instead of feeling the presence of his spirit. So please, both you and your son, whenever you get those moments where you start to feel the sadness of his loss, you're not feeling, you feel his presence. Again, we're so used and trained and conditioned to look for a physical body to feel the presence of someone. So get your mind and body quiet when you feel him around. Breathe, relax, let your sadness pass, and feel his spirit with you. He wants to give you a hug. He wants to give you both a hug. And you can feel that, again, if you release the sadness or the belief that he's lost, you'll feel the presence of his energy, because then you won't have a belief in the way of the experience. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate your time, your patience, your energy, and your support. And we got our first subscriber on my TikTok channel yesterday, and I'm trying to find out where you are so I can say thank you so much. Let's see here. I'm not sure. Let's see if I can figure out where you are, darling. Okay. Yeah, I can't see where you are yet, but let me say this to you. I am so grateful. Susie, I think it's Susie. Susie, thank you so much for being my first subscriber on TikTok. I really appreciate that. And one of my goals is to try and get 5 subscribers on TikTok before the week's out. And again, we'll be doing some separate live events on TikTok where I can bring my subscribers and those of you that want to have questions answered live with me one-on-one. We'll set certain goals, and hopefully you'll join us for that process. And for all my TikTok and Facebook and YouTube family, thank you so much for bringing your questions and your love and your energy and your hopelessness. And remember to follow me on TikTok. Remember to subscribe if you're on YouTube. Anybody on TikTok, you can check out my YouTube channel. There's over 700 channel videos there of messages from many different beings that you can learn and gain great benefit from. You can also might want to book a reading with me through my website, WilliamMichaelForbes.com or TorontoMedium.com. On that note, I want to wish you all a wonderful and a joyful day. And again, thank you, Christopher, for all your help on YouTube. I really appreciate it. Have yourselves a wonderful and joyful day, and I'll see you guys on the Friday Q&A. Bye for now.